Some people wake up on their birthday and feel absolutely nothing. No excitement, no countdown, no secret smile, just another morning. And when someone finally says happy birthday, they nod politely, maybe even feel uncomfortable, like too much attention just landed on them by mistake. If this feels familiar, this video is about you. And here's the shocking part most people never realize. Treating your birthday like a normal day is not random, and it's not just about being low-key. It's a psychological signal, a quiet one. Because birthdays are supposed to mean something. They mark existence. They say, you matter enough to be noticed today. So when someone emotionally disconnects from that idea, it's not because they forgot the date. It's because somewhere deep inside, they learned that being seen is safer when it's optional or avoided altogether. And once you notice this pattern, you'll start seeing it everywhere, not just on birthdays, but in how these people live their entire lives. At first, it looks simple. They'll say things like, "It's just another year," or "I don't like making a big deal out of it." It sounds logical, mature, almost enlightened. But psychology rarely hides in logic. It hides in repetition. People who feel nothing on their birthday often train themselves not to expect emotional payoff from special moments. Over time, the brain learns a dangerous shortcut. Don't hope, and you won't be disappointed. So the excitement fades, not because it wasn't wanted, but because it once hurt. Birthdays become emotionally neutral on purpose. When you expect nothing, you stay in control. No waiting for messages, no watching who remembered, no quiet heartbreak at midnight when the phone stays silent. The mind chooses numbness over vulnerability. And the strange part? They don't always realize they made this choice. It feels natural now, automatic. But what they call not caring is often a well-practiced form of emotional self-protection. This pattern usually doesn't start in adulthood. It starts much earlier, when birthdays first taught them a lesson about attention. Maybe celebrations were inconsistent. One year felt special, the next passed unnoticed. Maybe love was present but never expressed loudly. Or maybe praise always came with conditions. Be good, be quiet, don't expect too much. Slowly, the child learns something subtle but powerful. Attention is unpredictable, and wanting it openly is risky. So they adapt. They stop attaching meaning to the day. They lower emotional volume before anyone else can lower it for them. By the time they grow up, ignoring their birthday feels like a personality trait, but it's actually a memory pattern that's settled into the nervous system. This is why reminders feel awkward, not joyful, why being celebrated feels undeserved or even embarrassing. The mind isn't rejecting happiness, it's replaying a rule it learned long ago. Don't rely on others to mark your worth. As adults, this turns into something deeper than just skipping a celebration. It becomes emotional armor, invisible but heavy. These people are often the most self-reliant in the room. They don't ask for much, they don't announce their needs, and they rarely complain when something important to them is forgotten. On the outside, they look strong, independent, unbothered. But inside, the armor has a cost. When you never let yourself be the center of attention, you also avoid the risk of being disappointed there. Birthdays are just one example. The same pattern shows up when they downplay achievements, minimize pain, and say, "I'm fine," even when they're not. What looks like emotional maturity is often emotional containment, a quiet decision to carry everything alone because needing acknowledgement once felt unsafe. And over time, that decision becomes an identity. Here's the twist most people get wrong. This behavior isn't about humility, and it's not about being above social rituals. It's about control. When you treat your birthday like a normal day, you control the emotional outcome. No expectations means no one can fail you. No spotlight means no judgment. No celebration means no moment where you have to wonder if you're truly valued or just being polite to. Ironically, this often develops in people who care very deeply. They feel things intensely, so they learn to reduce situations where those feelings could be exposed. Ignoring their birthday isn't indifference, it's strategy. And once you see it this way, everything shifts. What looked like confidence starts to look like caution. What looked like detachment starts to look like someone protecting a very sensitive core that learned a long time ago to stay hidden. This mindset doesn't stay isolated to one day a year. It quietly shapes how they move through relationships. They're often the ones who remember everyone else's important days, but insist theirs doesn't matter. They give attention easily, but feel uneasy receiving it. When someone tries to make a fuss over them, they may joke it away, change the subject, or feel an urge to disappear. Intimacy for them is safer when it's indirect. Over time, partners and friends may misread this. They assume distance means independence, not realizing it's actually a boundary built to avoid disappointment. So people stop trying, not out of cruelty, but confusion. And that silence reinforces the original belief. See, I was right not to expect anything. It becomes a loop. The less they allow others to show up for them, the more alone they feel, even while being surrounded by people who care, but were never given permission to prove it. And this is the realization that lingers long after the video ends. People who treat their birthday like a normal day aren't saying the day doesn't matter. They're saying they learned not to. Somewhere along the way, they separated existence from celebration, worth from recognition, survival from being seen. The quiet tragedy is this: when you never let yourself be acknowledged, you slowly forget how it feels to be chosen, not because no one would choose you, but because you stopped standing where choosing could happen. A birthday isn't just a date, it's a mirror. And for some people, looking into that mirror brings up an old question they learned to avoid asking out loud. If I let myself matter today, will anyone notice? That question doesn't disappear when the candles are gone. It follows them into every moment where they minimize themselves to feel safe. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.